Well, things I've never done in my life before. Number one, I'm sitting on the back of a Rolls Royce that's buried half into the ground. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be sitting on the back of it, but there's no one about, and anyway it's buried halfway into the earth. And I'm way out in Kanchanaburi province, about 200 kilometers out of Bangkok, and I'm at CARHENGE, and this is completely the most crazy, mad, eccentric, wild car architecture sculpture thing in the world, I would say. Cadillac Ranch and some of the other CARHENGEs, they have nothing on this. There's several dozen cars that have been spread around in a big circle, which I'll show you in a minute, in the shape of Stonehenge, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on, like this Rolls Royce buried here. It's just completely far out. I have never seen anything like this before. It's a really cool thing, but it's also absolutely bang in the middle of nowhere. The reason behind it is it's been built by Grand Prix International. They're well known because they're the owners of the motor show, the first motor show in Thailand. It's been going for decades and decades, and they also own a golf course which is right here, and they own a 4x4 proving ground which is right here. So way out in Kanchanaburi province, about 50 kilometers plus north of the town, they've got this whole little ecosystem with a golf course and their proving grounds and everything, and they've built this monument at the entrance just by the main road, and I can't get over it. It's absolutely awesome. It's completely crazy. I totally love this idea. Just look at this Mercedes. It's been buried side on the ground. It's completely crazy. I've never seen anything like this before. I think if you went to California or Southern Europe or Japan or these kind of places where they go big on car art sculptures and installations, I don't think you'd find anything like this. And this is way out, 150, 200 kilometers out of Bangkok in the Kanchanaburi countryside. It's just totally awesome. It's so far out. I really love it. Big congratulations for Grand Prix International to have a vision, an idea to do something like this and put it together so superbly. I don't know the story behind this installation, exactly the thinking and what they were looking to get out of it in terms of the specific details, but there's like a real mix of interesting cars here. Some stuff that you would not really expect. There's a lot of Japanese cars here, with Japan dominating the market here. There's some things like high-ace vans. There's a stack of 4 Mazda M800 pickups which look ultra cool as usual. There's Mitsubishis, which one I'm balancing the camera on there. There's Toyotas, there's Hondas, there's also stuff like that. Then there's some really weird stuff. There's a Holden Commodore in the stack, and then from Europe you've got all sorts of things. Obviously Mercedes and BMW, the one that was buried in the ground before that I showed you. There's several other Mercedes, some real classic ones, and BMW there's quite a few. There's E30s, there's an old 02 series E45 46 shell as well. well. And there's some like really odd stuff. There's a Peugeot 504 Estate, there's a Seat, there's and then from Asia there's like a Proton, there's a Hyundai. Just looking around, it's just like a really crazy mix. There's a Jeep, there's quite a few Volvo shells as well. There's old Mazda 323s, a couple of different types. There's a real total mix of cars, and like some of them you wouldn't really expect to see here. Of course, a Rolls Royce you wouldn't expect to see here, but some of the others, it's a curious choice, and it makes it really interesting. So it's not just bang a load of old wrecked Hondas and Toyotas into your shape. They've gone out and they've picked a real different, diverse bunch of cars. I've just counted 79 cars in this CARHENGE installation. I might be one or two out because I just stood here and spun round, very quickly counted them. So it's around about that, it's around 79, 80 cars making up this installation. And there's all sorts of crazy stuff. And it's not just all the ones painted in grey stood upright. There's other ones as well that are different. This sedan here is covered in paint. It looks like it's been burnt out and then covered in paint. There's a Jeep, there's a Berlingo van here that looks pretty much on the road. It doesn't look like it's quite finished either, because I'm sitting in this BMW shell. There's a couple more shells here. There's a few dotted around the place. So there's still a few cars to go up, a few things to slot in. So I guess it's 90% finished. I'm not sure what other things, whether there's any more art car type things to come in here. But I think already there's nothing like this in the world. With around 80 cars in it, this is just completely far out. This is just completely the #1 car installation you're ever going to see. I have a slight postscript to the Rolls-Royce story since I made the video early, sitting on it, introducing it, and I'm like, what the hell is a Rolls-Royce doing half in the ground in Thailand? You don't do that with a roller here. Anyway, I sent a message, I took a photo, I sent a message to Kanchanaburi. He's Dr. Prachin's son. Dr. Prachin is the owner of Grand Prix International, and Kanchanaburi is a vice president of Grand Prix. I sent him a picture and said, holy shit, what's going on here? And he sent me back, said apparently the front end was crashed on the car, so they buried it half in the ground. So I'm not quite sure whether I'll include this clip in, because maybe it takes a little bit of a shine off this. But so maybe this clip is going to appear in the video at the end, maybe not. I'll have to think about it, whether it kills the suspense a little bit. But certainly the back end, it's not a shell like all the other cars. You can see the lights in it, the badges on it, all the suspension, the drivetrain, the exhaust is on it. So this is a full Rolls-Royce. It's not like the other cars that they're all just a shell that's been stripped out. This is the real deal, even if it's got a bit of a bashed in front end. that's me done. Time to go back to Bangkok. But I just want to apologise that I came here quite late afternoon. I had another reason to be in the area. I made a detour to come and see this. So the sun has been pretty low. It's tea time now, the sun's nearly set. So apologies that the lighting in the video and the photos, the quality isn't going to be fantastic. It's not great, but hopefully it's enough for you to see the size and the scale and the sheer crazy idea that's being brought to life here, that this is really, really cool. And I think if you're not too far away from here, it's well worth dropping in to see this for a few minutes.